Hello, this is Barney with Russell Real Estate, and today I just wanted to share a couple of thoughts when I was thinking about the housing market and how lucky we are in the state of Ohio in general. Um, so, relatively speaking, yes, in the area that I serve, which is mostly Northeast Ohio, um, we are in a strong seller's market, and understandably, a lot of buyers do get frustrated with that. But relatively speaking, we are still in a very good time as far as purchasing a property. So basically, when we're looking at statistics, one thing that I really like to look at is the Housing Affordability Index. And basically, how they calculate that is they take a few different factors into consideration. So the first factor is going to be the average price home. The second factor is going to be your average mortgage rate. And then the third factor is going to be your income. So basically, they want to see what percentage of your income is going to be used as a payment for your principal and interest rate. And we can see that in 2020, we were actually very fortunate, and we had an affordability index of 171, which is amazing. In 2021, that dropped back down to 152.5. So it seems like properties are becoming less affordable, and relatively speaking, compared to 2020, they are. But historically speaking, they're actually still very affordable. By the way, this number right here is for the national average in the United States, which I'll go over Ohio here specifically in just a minute. But for the Midwest, you could see here, average purchase price ends up being, or sale price ends up being just shy of 260,000. The interest rate for 2021 averaged at 3.15, which ended up being about 12.3% of the median family income there. So the housing affordability in the Midwest ends up being over 200, which is by far the most affordable region in the United States. So just looking at Ohio specifically then, Ohio's housing, we rank, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as the sixth most affordable state for housing, the housing index alone. So they say the average ends up being 121.38 for their numbers. Ohio is at 76.1. So we are about 35%, maybe a little more affordable than the average home in the United States. And then when you go to look at the cost of living index, Ohio's a little lower, but relatively speaking, we're we're the 14th most affordable state with a cost of living index at 90.8. In the US, it's going to be 104.63. So we're about 15% lower than the national average for cost of living as well. So Ohio in general is just a very affordable market. And one other thing I did want to bring up that reminds me is just the historical data for housing affordability. This is an old chart that I found, but basically it shows from 1970 to 1998 the housing affordability index, and they break it down by fixed rate loans as well as adjustable rate mortgages. But we're just going to look at the composite, which is both of them combined, which it looks like all the numbers are about the same anyway, so we don't have to worry about that. So anyways, the composite, you could see back in the 80s, especially the early 80s, houses were not affordable at all. And partly that's because of the mortgage interest rate being in the double digits. So, we've become used to sub 4% interest rates, but that just has not been the historical norm. So we are still very fortunate. I understand that it can be frustrating when looking to purchase a home, but just realize, hey, relatively speaking, we're still doing all right.